Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be going over this eye look right here using the brand new Soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I absolutely love this palette. I can definitely tell you now that you are going to be seeing a lot of it on my channel, and I am definitely planning on a couple of more looks using this one, if not more than a couple, because I just really like it. I really like this palette. So if you're interested in seeing exactly how to recreate this soft gold halo look right here, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is prep the lids. I'm going to be doing that with a little bit of concealer, just applying that onto the lids and then blending it out using my finger. So I'm using my finger in order to kind of apply the concealer everywhere. And then in order to get the coverage nice and even, that is when I go in with the Beauty Blender. Okay, now that we have that on the lids, I'm going to set it with a little bit of powder. And that is because right now, if you feel the lids, they're a little tacky, and I don't want them to be tacky because I feel like I have a harder time applying eyeshadows onto the lids when the base is tacky. So that is why I'm going to just simply set them with some powder so that it turns nice and smooth. Okay, so now it's time to grab our Soft Glam palette. The first eyeshadow that I'm going to be using is Orange Soda. And I'm just going to be taking a little bit of that with my Sigma E40. This is a tapered blending brush. And this is what I'm going to use as a transition shade. So simply applying it by patting it onto the eye first and then buffing it in circular and windshield wiping motions. Okay, so I just did a couple of layers of that. Next, I'm moving on to Burnt Orange. And I'm going to be taking that with the same brush, my Sigma E40, and applying it in the same way that we applied the previous eyeshadow. But this one I'm keeping a little bit closer to the lash line and a little bit further away from the brow bone. Just making sure that most of the product gets deposited here to the outer corner, and then I take whatever is left and drag it back and forth in order to blend it into the crease. If you ever find that you're getting like a really harsh line up here, up by the brow, what you can do is take a lighter shade. So I'm going to grab a little bit of Orange Soda with a different brush, and then just blend that into the area that you feel has that harsh line. And that way you get more of a nice gradient going up toward the brow rather than a heavy deposit of eyeshadow and then a really obvious line and then nothing up here. That way it all looks just really nice and blended. And of course, when you're going in up here in order to blend, just make sure that you have a really light hand. You don't have to necessarily push too hard or blend really hard in order to blend out the product onto the skin. Next, I'm going to be taking my blending brush. This one is the E25 from Sigma, and I'm going to be grabbing, I'm going to take Sienna and Rustic and mix those together. And then I'm going to be depositing that here along the outer V, just by first patting it and then blending it into the eye. And I'm going to be doing the same thing, so grabbing Sienna and Rustic once again and doing it on to the inner corner of the eye. And then I'm going back with my original blending brush and just blending out the edges without adding any additional product onto the brush. Okay, and since this is not as deep as I want the color to be, I'm going to do it again. So grabbing Sienna, Rustic, and applying it onto the outer V first. And you know what? I'm going to do it a third time. Now that we're done with that, if you couldn't tell, I'm definitely going for a halo for today's look. So I'm going to take a little bit more of my concealer, put it on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to take this concealer brush. This one is from Sigma. It is their F75. And I think this is the perfect size for the eye, especially if you're just going to do a halo. So I'm going to tilt my head back and then apply that on to the center there. This is just going to allow the eyeshadow to really pop in the center. I'm going to take that all the way up to the crease. And I think I'm going to use glistening. So I'm going to grab glistening with my eye shading brush. This one is the E55. And I'm going to apply it on top of that. And that way it really sticks and it pops. And then I go back with the tapered blending brush in order to just make sure everything is blended along the edges. Then I'm just going to go in with my finger and just blend it out even further. That way it looks nice and blended out and it's not just a line right along the center of your lid. And then I'm going to take a little bit of bronze and I'm going to apply that on top here along the center. And I'm also going to take a pencil brush, take sienna and rustic once again, and just deepen this inner corner here. And the outer corner as well. Okay, now I'm going to apply some liquid liner. This one is from Essence. Just going to give myself a winged line here. Okay, now I'm going to work on the lashes really quickly. I'm just going to apply a nice coat of mascara. This one is my High Def Mascara from Beauty For Real. Just applying a little bit of that before I move on with false lashes for today's look. Okay, so now that the lashes are on, it is time to tightline the upper line here, the upper lash line. This is just going to give us the appearance of thicker, fuller lashes. And I'm doing it with my Smashbox Always On Gel Liner in Fishnet. Okay, so now I'm going to jump off camera and just simply finish off the rest of my face and then come back to the eyes. Since this is just an eye look, I didn't want to include the rest of my, routine. But if you are interested in seeing exactly what it is that is going to be going on my face, I will link everything down in the description box below. So you have it there for your reference. But yeah, I will be right back in order to finish off the eyes. Okay, so now that I'm done with the rest of my face, it is time to finish off the eyes. The first thing that I'm going to grab in order to do so is this Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Liner. And I'm going to be applying it along the lower lash line and the waterline as well. Okay, so now that we have that along the lower lash line, I'm going to grab sienna with my flat definer brush. This one is the E15 from Sigma. I'm going to grab sienna and rustic together, and I'm going to run that along the bottom by just patting it on the lower lash line. Okay, and now I'm going to grab my pencil brush and I'm going to take burnt orange with that and blend it out. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pencil brush once again and I'm going to dip it into glistening and apply that onto the inner corners. And then I'm going to take my medium sweeper brush, this one is the E54, grab glistening again, and just apply that on here, along the brow bone. And then of course finishing off the eyes with some mascara along the lower lashes. All right, and that completes this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's eye look and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future makeup tutorials, product reviews, and beauty-related videos in general. And also, don't forget to follow me on all of my other social media platforms. I am All Beauty by Sarah with an H on Instagram and All Beauty by Sarah without the H on Snapchat and Twitter. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.